So I'm Madalen Ross. Not only am I a business owner myself, but I also run various programs. I have hands-on experience and I work with clients in developing their business strategies, particularly digital marketing and also with web development, search engine marketing, so digital marketing and SEO. Now can we see the screen?
Yeah,
okay.
Do the presentation for you.
Yeah, that's lovely. Okay.
Nice.
Beautiful. All right, so we are going to get off the ground, and I do apologise for the delay. What this session is about is pretty much how to make your website function a little bit faster and better. And also it's going to address some of the questions that I get most of the time. It is, I think it's important to address the questions that are for the people who are beginners and some of the more advanced questions that we get. So I'll just minify that if I can. There. So yes, I'm a business owner myself, so I do have clients and I do do a lot of work with them in this area. I'm also a business mentor and have been for about 20 years. So here's our agenda. One of the main questions I get is, do I need a website? I'm going to show you the Chook, and I love the Chook because it does actually explain a few different things. We'll talk a little bit about web strategy, the SEO success pyramid. Now, you probably hear a lot about Google algorithms, and I'll try to explain that very briefly. A little bit on website planning, because if we don't plan, it's a bit like a business plan. So you really need to know what your goals are, and we'll move on from there. And then there's some search engine optimization, which is SEO. So we're looking at a few tactics on page and off page. I'll also give you some free apps, tools and resources, and also basically at the end of this I'll run you through a case study. Now bear with me, I'm going to be going through this rather quickly because I've condensed like a 4-hour program to well, an hour. So, but then you'll have the opportunity for one-on-one mentoring sessions afterwards if you'd like. And that we'll do step by step. So one of the first questions is, do I need a website? So again, what are your goals? If you have a retail, a brick and mortar, do you need more foot traffic? If you're at the market, do you need more foot traffic? Do you want web sales? Do you want a bigger contact list? Do you want more followers? And usually it's all of this. So what are your capabilities? Can you create your own content? Can you do you have the time to be able to spend on doing that? And also, what's your budget? You know, if it's no, that you can't spend time in it, then you need to spend some dollars on getting someone in to help you out. And you know, you can probably use students, or there are a lot of freelance people who can come in and do it for you. But I find that learning to do it yourself is the best place to be, unless you've got staff or you have the funds. So every business has a window. For some, it's a physical window like a retail shop. For others, it's a market stall. And for many now, it's a website. Particularly once COVID hit us last year, we found that many of the businesses had to pivot their business and they did go online. So it's interesting that only 47% of Australian businesses have an online presence. So they're really missing out. 90% of consumers go online to get information before they decide to buy. So there's always, those potential customers that are looking for it to make a purchase. So, the benefit is that you can get repeat customers. It's a second sales channels. It does create new opportunities because you have to think of ways that that you can utilize the website. There'll be call to actions. You might have a learning module, a training module. So there's you might create an ebook. So you might be able to sell that online, linking it with your social media, etc. Now, it is cheaper and easier than you think. There's a lot of simple solutions out there that for a basic website. Now, I'm not talking about, high-end websites, but for general functionality and a nice-looking website, a brochure sort of website, there's plenty of resources out there. And there's some that are free to use as well. Now, there are tricks and tips that you might not be aware of. And so that's where it's good to have someone to bounce ideas off or to get some information from. If you've already got a website, you probably want to have a look at whether it's current, whether it is fast, whether it's static or dynamic, because, the old websites now are pretty much out of order, and it's got to be mobile friendly and fast. So and the other benchmark that Google has is that it has to have an SSL certificate. So that's when you see a website and it says HTTPS ... So it's not the HTTP. Now, one of the questions I also get asked is, what platforms are available and how much do they cost and which one's the best. So I'll just run you quickly through these different platforms. So, of course, there's Squarespace. It is very simple to use. It's got really beautifully designed on-trend templates, product uploads one by one, so better for business with a smaller range of products. It's from $34 per month. And I've got a couple of links on this page where you can have a look at templates and themes. So there's also the Wix. Now that's rather simple. For me, it can be, it is easy to use if you've not used a platform before. For me, it's a little bit clunky given that I've worked with all these other platforms, but for you, it could very well be fine. The Shopify platform, that's really a great platform for e-commerce. It has some nice, clean, fresh themes that make your shop look really good. So for e-commerce, it's very good. So your costs are from $29 a month. So you're looking at, in addition, paying for templates. However, what what I have done is down the bottom, there is a link to Theme Forest, and you'll get that in your, excuse me, I'll grab a water. You'll get that in the PDF. So themeforest.net has very well priced website themes, and they are, for the various platforms. So go and have a look in there. There's also codes, there's videos, there's graphics, there's web elements, and they're all very, very well priced. So have a look at that. Now, WordPress. Now, because I've been working with websites for a very long time, my favourite is WordPress, but there are pros and cons with WordPress. And we'll get into that a little bit more. It's free open source, so you've got thousands of web developers working on building the structure, building plugins for the theme that give you extra functionality. There's many additional apps, like there's pop-up forms, there's learning modules. So if you wanted to bring that side in, the actual WordPress itself is free, but you still have to have the hosting. It's got the WooCommerce, which is e-commerce platform, and it does have free page builders like Site Builder, Divi. There's quite a few of them. There's free and premium themes. Now, there's a bit of learning curve with WordPress, but there's so much documentation out there. There's a lot of videos. There's a lot of instructional videos. So you would be able to get on board and learn as you went along. The downside of WordPress, well, it was until the latest major core update, was that there's regular maintenance. And that's the difference between these other platforms. The other platforms are self-contained, so you never have to worry about the security, updating of the theme, because that's all taken care of. With WordPress, the plugins and the themes have to be updated on a regular basis. And when I say regular, you've got to go in and check every week. And you have to have plugins like security and backup and more. So there's a little bit more maintenance required on WordPress, except that now from the latest update, they are doing automatic updates of plugins and themes if you set it to. And I actually have some questions around that, because it can and has for me created some problems with other plugins. So we have to be mindful of that. Okay, here's my Chook. So what we're looking at is, there's really three elements to this. We've got the framework. Now, the framework is WordPress, Wix, Shopify, HTML, CSS. There's other site builders available as well. So they are the framework that you're going to be basing the website from, and where you're going to be hosting. Then you have the meat, which is the theme, the plugins, the integrations that come with that, the applications that get added into, the content that you're creating, and the images that you're going to be using on the website. And then you have the finished product. So you've researched your keywords. It's a fast, responsive. You've set up Google Analytics and Search Console. You're starting to get backlinks to your website, and there's continuous maintenance. So, once you build a website, you can't just leave it there. It's just not going to get you any traction just to be there. And we'll discuss all those things shortly. So this is pretty much a web, an infographic of a web strategy. It really defines what you need to look at when you're considering building a website. And it's also looking at this as being part of your digital marketing strategy overall. So you have your social media content, you've got your website. So it is mobile and tablet friendly. It's landing pages are used where we have call to actions and you have something in particular, a message you want to get across. So landing pages are significant. Now, of course, we've got SEO, which is the organic searches. So organic means it's not paid. And SEM, search engine marketing. So that's things like Facebook marketing, Google AdWords, Instagram marketing as well. Now, as far as the website is concerned, we look at trying to incorporate the social media content and marketing content. So, we're looking at, a blog, and you don't have to do all of these, but we look at your particular business because what's going to be appropriate for your business. It doesn't mean that because all these are available that you have to go and do all those. However, they're all powerful in trying to build your website and your branding. So we're looking at what the outcomes are. What is it that we want? What do we need to do? And when we're looking at the backlinks, this is where all of these areas will count as a link back to your site. And you really want authoritative sites that have high value. So it's good to be able to show that you have links that people are liking your website or your page, etc. So we'll get into all these a little bit more. Okay, so one of the first things you want to do when you're doing your website, now those people that come in, if you've got a brick and mortar, the buyer persona, the person who comes into that store could very well be a different type of person with different interests to the one that comes to your website. So you really need to have a look at who, what, why, where, and how. So who is the person that's going to be visiting your site, or who is it that would buy from you? What problems can you solve for the buyer? What are they buying from you, and what actions would you like them to take? I think one of the things is why would they buy from you? Can you give them any proof, testimonials, case studies, guarantees? So you're looking at a unique selling proposition. Where are these people? Are they on Google, blogs, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn? Who do they trust? Because whoever they trust, they're the people, that's where you're going to find them. How will you reach them? What will you publish? What keywords are buyers typing into Google? What marketing tactics will you use to reach them? And that could be email marketing, which is a very powerful thing. Newsletters, ebook, YouTube, podcast. So there's quite a variety of things that we can have a look at there. So here's our success period. And we have, starting from the bottom, and I won't go into all of these because I've got so much to get through. But, what you're doing is you're creating a community, you're getting word of mouth, and you need to start with the planning, the commitment, researching. So researching your competitors, education, so educating yourself in this ever-changing environment that we're in. You've got to have the patience, using the right tools, building trust, and reputation management, which is very important. And it's also looking at the content of what that website and will have. So just algorithms. Now people hear of SERPs and they say, oh, what is SERP? So basically SERPs is search engine results page. So they use algorithms to retrieve data from its search index and instantly be able to deliver those results from a query. So Google uses a combination of algorithms and a whole heap of different ranking factors to deliver those web pages, and they're ranked by relevance. They make thousands of changes to their algorithm a year, and a lot of the major core algorithm updates can significantly impact your site's page ranking in search engines. Now I'm just having a look. Okay. I'll get to those questions shortly. Okay, so Google Updates. Now, one of the, something that's very powerful is your featured snippet. Now, I'm going to give you links where you can get more information. But each year Google changes its algorithm, and there were major updates in 18, 19 and even 20. So there was the image search update where they removed a lot of the view image buttons because so many people were breaking copyright by just downloading the images and using them on their own websites. Brackets, so that was another core update where they were looking at relevant, shareable content on websites. Mobile first indexing, this is extremely important because Google has really changed the way that it indexes pages and looks at your mobile first, and it should load within 3 seconds. So if you've got a mobile site, and there's nothing more frustrating than having a look and trying to find information on a mobile site with heavy images that take ages to load. It should load within 3 seconds. Otherwise, it's just not, good enough, and people will go away from it. The zero results SERP, so featured snippets, that's a ranking factor. I got that back to front. So they're selected search results that are featured at the top of Google's page. So in this one, how to get more subscribers. So you've got the top answers here. The featured snippet often gives someone the answer they're looking for. So that's ideally where we'd like all to be. So there's different types of snippets. There's the definition box. That's also a definition box, but it's a different look. So we've got the table. So Google will pull out data from a page that has a table on it, and we'll show that table. And you'll see that it's the first thing under the ads that Google has. The ordered list. So this is a list presented in specific order, and Google tends to use ordered lists for queries that need a set of steps. And an unordered, where it just has a whole list in no particular order. Now, here's a couple of, you might want to take a snap or wait for the PDF, but here's a couple of good snippet generator and building featured snippets. Now, these are very, very helpful in helping you in getting up higher in the search engines. So again, the snippet drop, these are more updates that they've done. Video carousels have replaced thumbnails. So video marketing is very strong. Mobile speed update, major ranking factor. If you're in the medic industry, there were specific improvements, and it affected health and wellness sites dramatically. And so there's been major spikes with core updates. When we get further in, these are important elements for you. When you have a look at, when you search a website, you actually get the meta title, which is a snippet, and you get the meta description, which is also a snippet. And we'll have a look at that further down. But every page should have a title specific to that page and a meta description specific for that page. So just an overall look. So we're looking at, keyword research. You've got to do your competitor analysis. We want Google Analytics. and then Google Search Console. We're looking at the architecture of the website. How easy is it to get around your website? Is it a secure website? On-page SEO, keyword research, site maps, the content, titles, descriptions, image optimization, and then search engine submissions. Off-page is really about getting backlinks and getting authority where you can send people back to your website. Local SEO, this is extremely important. Even if you don't have a website now, I would be doing this first. So Google My Business is a very powerful tool for your business. And don't forget Bing Places for Business, because people do forget that. If you're rich in images, definitely go with Bing. But Google My Business, you can even create a free, once you've set up a Google My Business page, you can add posts, specials, image maps. You can create a free website. And I mean, you know, that's a major search engine. Why wouldn't you use them? So that is one of my very strong strategies for you, is make sure you're making the most out of Google My Business. So we want a call to action. Now, colours. Colours are really important. There are places where you can get colour schemes for your website. You can just do a search on Google for colour palettes for websites, and it will give you an array. Now, you have to ensure that you don't overdo it with too many colours in the text, like different colours for headings, for each heading, different colours for different paragraphs. And I've seen a lot of that. Or a heavy coloured background with a colour that is just so vibrant, it just doesn't do it well. Now, the other thing too is that as a benchmark, you really need to have the titles, descriptions, have a high contrasting website, use alt tags, which are alternative tags to images, and descriptions, because, pardon me, we need to adhere to disability guidelines because they actually have a screen reader. So if you don't say what that image is about, or if you don't have a title of your web page, if you don't have headings and subheadings on that page, it is just the screen reader picking up either nothing or just the text that's in the background. So having the H1 tag, which is heading, or a H2 to break up paragraphs, will notify them this is a subheading. So, you know, bear that in mind. And also for mobile, we want to have a look at fast and friendly and enriched for voice SEO. Okay, so these are my favorite tools, and you can take a snap. There are other tools. There's just so many tools. Ubersuggest is one of those tools that I keep going back to. There is a paid version, but there's also the free version. It's very comprehensive. I mean, you know, there's others like Moz, and there's the Google Keyword Planner. There's so many others. Answer the Public is brilliant. I love that. Now, with that Answer the Public, you can do 5, I think it's 5, it might be 3 now, searches free before you, per day. So use it wisely per day. But I'm going to show you something after that's going to show you that it is a place that you should visit for not only your own research, but even for competitor research. The Google Search Console, now that is, if you've got a Gmail account, if you've got a website, if you don't have Search Console, then head over on this link and set yourself up. Google Trends, not used enough. If you go to Google Trends, it's free. Type in a key phrase or a keyword that you would like, sorry, not Google Alerts, that is. If you go to Google Alerts and type in a word that you'd like to follow or a phrase or a competitor, it will alert you in your inbox every morning of any new news that comes about. So Google Trends, that is really good to show what trends have been on a particular product or service. And Quora is fantastic for research. If you don't know it, go and have a look. And it's worthwhile setting yourself up on there and answering questions. So this is Uber Suggest. So actually on this one, I used writing service. So there's keyword ideas, and then there are related questions, prepositions, comparisons, and you can actually export it to CSV. Now, when you click, and there's hundreds, so there's 352 suggestions. So then you can click on content ideas, and then you can do competitive analysis, and you can use a different, whatever that the new keywords are that you're looking for. It's better to use 2 words or even 3, just to refine it a little bit more. And when we're talking about a writing service, what this shows you is, if you let's just say you just had your business saying writing service Melbourne. Yeah, but hang on, what sort of writing service? Is it resumes? Is it website content? Is it essay writing? Is it for research papers? So this will give you all those ideas of what you can use within your content, within subheadings, and in perhaps what content ideas to write about as well. So this is actually showing you the monthly volume, the search volume by month. And then you've got the cost per click, average cost per click if you wanted to pay Google. This is the paid difficulty, and this is the SEO difficulty. Now, what's good about Uber Suggest is it will show you a different colour along here. When it's green, it's going to be pretty good and easy. I won't say really easy, but fairly easy to rank for. Once it gets to the orange and the red, particularly the red is a bit harder. So it's very good value in helping you identify which keywords to target. And this is, when I clicked on writing service over on the left, it actually brings up the top sites. So this is where your research analysis comes into play for competitors. So these are the top ranking websites for writing service. So why are they ranking that high? Well, what have they got? Social shares, domain authority, they've got good link backs, good visitation. So, and you can export this to CSV as well. So here's your analysis that you can work with. Now, this is my other favourite one, answer the public. So again, I put in writing service. This is looking at questions, and it gives you a visualisation, but it also gives you a data view. And you can also export it to a CSV, and it's great for facts, article ideas, to use those headings and subheadings within your content. So it's a very good place to research. The other thing to watch out for is how many times you use your keyword. So we don't want keyword stuffing. We want to make sure that the words don't include shop, buy now. You know, we want the women's white all-star Converse, but we don't want to be saying white Converse, white Converse, white Converse all the way through it. So just be aware of that. I won't get into too much of this, but keywords in content, you are looking at, this is the, you need your keyword in the URL, in the heading, and in the description, meta description. Now, this is a great little site. You can go over there, and I prefer to use this. I still use it. So I go over to this site and use the fields here to put in my title and meta description, and it will stop you before you add too many words. So again, it's important to include keywords in your text, H1, H2 tags. This is what we call anchor text. So it's interlinking to another page. This actually really helps with the crawl by Google of your website. Don't duplicate meta titles and descriptions, and don't duplicate the main keyword phrase per article. So this is what we want on your website. You've got your home page or your index page. You've got your main sections, and then we have subsections. So we want to be concise. And so that's why that research in the beginning, not only of what your competitors are doing, but also what you want to do, is very important. Now, there's a free mind map tool. Also, canva.com is fantastic. It's free. There's also Draw.io, Google Docs. You can just use a spreadsheet to set up your silo. So, and just map it out before you go too far. And here's an example of an accounting and tax firm. So this is what you want to be doing. You want your, the location is pretty much which page, but the page type, the category, it's a page, it's a blog. The main category is tax service, tax consulting, tax compliance. So that's the two keywords. So now, you want to put in your title tag, your title meta description, and what runs off tax services, audit and review, risk services. So this is a good example, and you can use this as an example for your own. Now, if you're not sure what your website silo is, download this free app. It is fantastic. I use it with my business. It's actually, when you download it, it will give you a report of, and you'll see what titles, descriptions you have, and what the image names are. It'll give you so much information that you can then reflect on that and fix what's wrong. Use it on your competitor. What are they doing? Image optimization. I cannot stress how important this is. Most customers don't wait even 3 seconds for an e-commerce site to load. And that's Shopify has said that. Not only have they said it, but it's benchmark from Google. Amazon found that if their pages were to slow down by just 1 second, they would lose 1.6 billion a year. Now, we don't earn that much, but even if we were to lose, 1,000 a month, that's heaps. You don't want to do that. So take this as a giveaway is image optimization is the first thing you want to be looking at on your website. So again, it's about reducing the file sizes of your image as much as possible without sacrificing. So it helps with SEO. So that chicken frame that I had at the beginning, that was 580 kilobytes. When I ran it through this little tiny jpeg.com, it reduced down to 211. So that's minus 64%. So there's also an image resizer at Pick Resize. It's so important to reduce the file size. I don't care whether you're a photographer, whatever you're doing, you need to do that. So you've got to get the image file size right first. I've got dyslexia today. And there is a difference between image size and file size. So your image size is the dimension of an image. The file size is the amount of space that it's required to store the image on the server. So, and file size is a big deal because it slows down your website. So image optimization, name your images descriptively. So, usually it's very, generic when you take a photo. So you really want something that's very descriptive. Choose the right image file type. So you've got JPEG, which is the most common and probably the smallest file size and can be compressed quite well. GIF is lower quality. It's used for icons, decorative images, and support and animation. But it's a little larger. And then you've got PNG. Now this is the largest file size. Now there's no reason to use a PNG if it's a photo or if it's a flat background. The PNG is good for, it does give higher quality, but you don't need it. And the only reason you would use it is if you wanted a clear background. So you want to optimize your images with the alt tag. Now the image alt tag is really calling alternative text. So the alternative text is saying what that image is about, and then the description of the image. So it helps you rank better, assists visually impaired, and so forth. So there's a little bit more info here that you could look up. Now, local SEO, particularly good for Google My Business. So with your Google My Business images that you upload, you want to be putting in your exact location. So that's your coordinates. And there's a little free app that you could do, and you can get the coordinates directly from this one here. And there is a free app you can download because this one, you might only, again, there's the free and the premium. You might only be able to do a few images at a time, but you can download a free app from SourceForge. Site speed test. Yes, you want a site speed test and do it regularly. It's very important. There's a few links here. I'm sorry, I'm going to rush through because there's a couple of other things I want to get into before we finish up. Offsite SEO. Okay, now this is important because what we're doing here is we're looking at backlinks to your website, and we're looking at creating that that spider from blogs or to or even links to authoritative sites. So let's say you're in aviation, you'd have a link through to the weather site. So, it's also looking at links to and links from authoritative sites. There are ways to do that. Now with, let's for example, Quora, Quora.com. Now that's a question and answer place, but if you scout in there for a particular question, and you see that there's a question there that has only been half answered, or that you think you could give more insight into, you could actually create a very quick blog post, put it on your website, go back to Quora and say, look, also, give them a little bit more information and say, and if you want to read the full post, I've got some more information over at this site. Go and have a look at. So, it's just looking at different ways of getting yourself out there. Now, ping search engines, I don't know if you've heard that term, but pinging a search engine pretty much gives it a ping to say, hey, look at me, I've just produced another blog. So, let everyone know. Now, this one here, I want you to go away and check that out. If this, then that. Now, on WordPress, what happens when I do a post for clients, I've actually set up in IFTTT that whenever I do a blog post, that it gets posted also to Facebook and Instagram. So, you want to have a look at how you can utilize this to automate other areas of your website. GMB, Google My Business, all of those places, get listed on as many business directories as possible. And the backlinks, it comes back to these. So have a look at and all of these. But before you do, make sure you got your goal. What outcome do you want? Okay, so here's a whole heap of free tools and resources. They're great resources, backlink checker, meta tags checker, free article spinner. This is where you can go to test ping your website, XML sitemap generator, and a couple of other SEO resources. Now, this one I think is, look, I've done my best to give you the Creative Commons licenses so that they're absolutely free to use for commercial purposes. So, but you've still got to make sure that, because places evolve, websites evolve, make sure that you check the licensing before you just download willy-nilly. But definitely people do get caught out on royalty-free images. Grabbing images from around the web is really risky, and you can be breaking copyright. So just be careful of that. Now, I am going to go and have a look at, I will go back one. I'll go back one, and I'm going to have a look at what's in the chat. Wow.
I dare say a lot of them you've already answered.
How do I increase followers? Okay, so you do increase followers pretty much with it's really incorporating all of those backlinks, those areas that I mentioned here. So what you really do want to have a look at is, okay, this is where I need to get more involved. I would definitely be looking at driving traffic to your website from your Facebook, to Facebook from your website. So you can have on your website, you can have the stream from Instagram and also from Facebook. But you can also, and I think I've answered a couple of things, get onto IFTTT, get onto Quora, get onto business directories. Now, with digital marketing, one of the other questions, let's see. How often should I post? If you're looking at a blog on your website, it depends on the type of business. But what I like to do is get a bank of ideas first, and you can go back to Ubersuggest and to the others, to have a look at what content. So I like to create a bank of content, and I would be posting, if you're talking about social media, Facebook, I would do 2 to 3 a week. Instagram, it's a little bit more frequent. Use your hashtags for both. With your website, I think that you could post once a week would be nice. You don't need to post every day. I mean, just once a week, once a fortnight is good. As soon as you find something that's relative, you can post that up and talk about it. Are there any scheduling tools I can use to help clients book times with me? Yeah, Calendly. Calendly. If you're on WordPress, there's other resources that you can use. There's also apps that if you're on Wix, there's apps on there. It depends on what your website build is, but yes, there are tools out there for scheduling. What are some good online resources to learn social media 101? Okay. Now, let's have a look. There we go. HubSpot, Free Academy, YouTube videos, Moz, Neil Patel. When you sign up to Ubersuggest, then you actually can do their free SEO and marketing. Learn Digital. Now, that's a Google one, and it's excellent. There's no reason why not to do that. It's step by step. It's excellent. There are many out there, but, I'd probably lean towards, start with Learn Digital with Google. And HubSpot's very good. What am I doing wrong? I've tried to get my following since Feb 20. Okay, so I don't know what you're doing. It could be that you're, if you're referring to Facebook or Instagram, are you advertising too much? You don't concentrate. What we need to do is we're looking at educating, supporting, notifying. Many people make the mistake of sell, sell, sell. And what we're trying to do is engage, have a very interesting, nice looking, attractive, easy to read, easy to follow. But there's it could be a number of things, and I'd really have to know which side it is and what's been done, and I'm happy to have a follow-up session with you, not a problem, and we can look at that. What am I missing on my pages? I don't know. I can't do that without seeing your pages. Make sure you've got a contact form. Make sure that you've got a call to action with there's got to be a call to action. What do you want people to do when they get to your website or to that particular page? Are you trying to sell too much? Is it too salesy? What's the color scheme? Colors, color psychology. People can switch off from a website just through color. Colors have different meanings. and also if they're not very high contrast, then they're hard to read. I usually use craft markets to sell goods. How can I use social media instead? I tell you what, we've had experience during this COVID period where people they've had to pivot their business, really didn't know much about the internet at all, didn't know much about Facebook or Instagram or anything like that. And we actually got them through and taught them how to take their own photo and then sell through Facebook Marketplace. It was amazing that within the first week, he got thousands of dollars in, or when I say thousands, 8,000, which for him was dramatic. And so I think that when you have a look at using social media, you probably do need to advertise through Facebook or through Instagram, and they vary in popularity and which is best for what purpose. How can I turn browsers into buyers? Okay, well, that's a really big question. Some of them can be by utilising some of these SEO tactics, by having a carrot, by having add-on value, free wrapping, or if it's an Easter thing, free Easter wrapping or a free Easter egg or whatever. But, it's the add-on value that you need to be looking at. I'd like to share memes across platforms. I'm wondering if there are copyright issues. You want to have a look at the copyright issues. If the best thing to do, if you want to share memes, look, I don't think that there aren't if you create your own memes. If you're sharing others' memes, if they've got their source on it, fine. It's always best to write the source, to note the source in your post. That way you'll be okay. What are the best strategies? Oh gosh, that's a whole different session. Paid ads on Facebook, and it varies very much depending on the type of business that you've got. I'm just looking at my time. I've still got a couple of minutes. What are the best strategies for paid on ads on Facebook? If you have a post on Facebook that has gained traction, people have liked it, there's a few hearts on there, may have had a share or two, I would boost it. Now, paid ads on Facebook can be good. I actually just did one the other day for a client. It can generate sales. I still like Facebook for generating sales. It just depends on what type of business it is that you have. But I don't mind. Some people don't like the boosted posts. Personally, I've found them very good. They've worked well for me. Okay. What are some apps that will help our website stand out? I think I've gone through a few of those apps. How do heading levels relate to SEO? That's a very good question. Now, it relates in that the H1 tag, it's called H1, and that is the most important heading on your page. That has to have the keyword in it. So it is the most important thing. It's the first thing that Google search engine will pick up. So H2 is the next important heading, and that needs to be, that also has your keyword, but in a roundabout way. So Google knows that's the next important thing on that page, and so forth. Anyways, to optimize video, yeah. There is a, actually what I'll do, Rebecca, I'll give you the link to that. There's an online, in fact, you might just even want to do, there's one online, if you just do Video Optimizer, but I'll send you a link to that, Rebecca.
Sure.
Okay. Now I've got 5 minutes left. I am going to just escape out of this. I know I'm still sharing. And I am going to show you this. Now, can you see this under the hood? Can you see this?
Refresh is kind of frozen. I think it will refresh in a minute.
I just wanted to share this quickly with you because all of the things that I've just spoken about, now I've got to go through this quickly. I actually undertook, in mentoring sessions with Paul Smart for his website, and we at a conference we reviewed all that. So we had his goals, we had the tools and resources, we knew what story. This all came about through our mentoring session, so it was a step-by-step. So we needed a fast and responsive site. Now, we went through the facts of why speed was important, but also they made a massive change, so it really hit websites, and we needed to be in touch. So I did a site audit, we did an analysis, we looked at, okay, well, this is what Paul needs to have a look at doing. So this was Smart Jumps, and at first his page load was 30 seconds. So our goal was 3 seconds. We've got to get it down to 3 seconds. So we went through it all. We had a look at keyword research. I actually went through some steps, and this is what happens in the mentoring. Went through some steps. He went away. He had to do his homework on both these sites, do the keyword research. We reviewed them together, and we then decided, okay, so this is what we've got to do. So we've done the keyword research. He's used Answer the Public. And this was a Wix site. So there was site descriptions. There were basic things that really needed to be doing. But this is the most important thing, the file sizes. So he had to go away, resize them, rename them, optimize them, and optimize the heading video. So that was all completed. He also added the alt tags, titles, etc. So he's done all these things. There's a free open source like Photoshop, GIMP. This is a great picture resizer that you can download for free called Faststone. So basically we did layout problems because this is what it looked like. It wasn't very nice. So we added product photos, product color schemes, the legals, and we did the analytics, Google My Business. We geotagged his images. He's located in Geelong. And so within 30 days, he was ranking 4th. So if you can follow the steps that I've given you in your homework, you are going to rank. You may not be 4th, but don't forget that we're really ranking for local. So he's in Geelong, so that was our focus around Geelong. So the page speed, we hit it. My site went to 2.8 seconds and performance grade of 95. Absolutely, really wrapped. Load time on this one was 2.3 seconds. So that's pretty much our goal. And you can see the traffic increased. He made sales. and everyone was happy. So stop there.
Sorry.
Okay, so I'm stopping the share. There we are. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm sorry I've had to rush through it, but you know, any questions, please get back to me.
Thank you, everybody, for attending. I'm not sure if you know, but Madalen is part of the Small Business Mentoring Service. She plays a key role there. You can tell from today's session, she's a font of knowledge. We do, at the City of Whittlesea, provide 60-minute free mentoring sessions through Small Business Mentoring Service. We also have a program for you. If you're an established business and you would like 3 months of mentoring, where you get check-ins every 2 months, every 2 weeks, we provide that for you as well. So you'll have my details. I've posted it again in the chat. Just reach out, have a conversation with me, and we'll get that going. I hope the rest of your day is a good one, and we'll see you next time. Bye.